If the rear main seal itself is just 10 bucks, 5 bucks, 8 bucks, 15 bucks for a whole kit with a gasket and everything, why is it so expensive to put a new rear main seal in my little four banger, my little Toyota Corolla or whatever it is? Well, let's look around. This is the rear main seal right here. And to look at it, it doesn't look like it'd be that hard to do. I mean, it's just right there. But what you have to realize is that the starter's mounted right here, the battery's here in the battery tray, all of your intake boot and all that stuff up there. There's all the connections for the transmission. And the transmission has to be removed, which includes all the bolts around the bell housing. That's all the bolts through the bottom access for the torque converter. You've got your hoses. There's just so many fasteners and there's so many connections. You got to pull out the dipstick tube. You got to unplug your Perndl switch, park, reverse, neutral, drive, low, and you have to undo the kick down cable that goes to the throttle body. It's a 96. You have to unplug the speedometer sensor. You have to pull out the CV axles. To pull out the CV axles, you have to undo. You have to pull the wheels off. You have to undo the strut or do something to get it to come undone. It's just a lot of work. When you look around here, you look at all the stuff that's been unbolted, including the flex plate. As I said, it bolts to the torque converter. It's just a lot of work. It's just a lot of grunting and a lot of parts to remove. You can see I've got parts just everywhere. So it's a teardown. It's because of where the rear main seal lives that it's so much work to get to. You know, you would see the, like I say, the battery here, the intake boot, and a bunch of other stuff. You have to have a special device to support the weight of the engine to hold it up so that you can have everything out, because there's so many mounts that attach. When you look at the transmission, there's a mount on the rear of the transmission that holds it up. There's a mount on the driver's side far, the top of it, that holds it up. And then there's another mount that goes right here on the front. So the 4 motor mounts that hold your engine and transmission assembly, you have to pull 3 of them. To pull the transmission is about 5 hours. To pull the engine out is usually about 6.5 or 7. So anyway you look at it, it's a lot of labor time. I almost forgot to touch upon what the rear main seal is and what it does. Everybody knows that an internal combustion engine has pistons, but basically you have a crankshaft, and the crankshaft is cranked or turned by your pistons and connecting rods. They go up and down in this space, and then you got your cylinder head above that. But basically you've got to get this twisting force that's generated by the engine. This rotates and spins, so you got to send that force from the engine, where it's just, you know, obtaining spin, to the transmission where it can take that spin and put it out. See that hole right there? That's where the CV axle goes. CV axle is just laying over here, by the way. But basically you got to take the spin from the engine, put it through the transmission, and then it spits it out to the wheels where it's made useful, and it gets you from A to B. So that's, and anytime you have, there's an oil pan. So if you want to drain the oil out of the engine, it comes out the bottom right here. So you have all of this oil to lubricate this process, because there'd be a lot of friction. You know, if you rub your hands together really fast, they get hot. If you spin a stick into a block of wood, it creates a fire, you know, like this illustration demonstrates. So basically, if you have anything moving, you got to lubricate it, so that's all full of oil. So how do you keep the oil in there but allow that twist to come out? Because that crankshaft has to have output here to run your AC compressor and to run your alternator and everything else. There's your alternator right there. There's your AC compressor. In order to run all those things, you got a seal in the front here, and we call that the timing seal because it's in the timing cover, or the front crankshaft seal. And this is the rear main seal, or the rear crankshaft seal. It goes to the back of the engine where all the power output goes to the transmission. But as you can see, everything's filled in, so you got to take all of those things off. This is held on by 2 bolts in here. This is held on by a strap and a bolt. You got a couple of bolts holding the terminals on. You got 3 bolts holding the air filter box on. You got a bolt holding the clamp on. You got to undo the kick down cable here and then unstring it from there. You got to undo all the sensors everywhere. It's a lot of work. Looks good now. You see down in there, that's the transmission, that's where it lives, as I had described earlier. Patented. Copyright. So we're in the green Jeep, the party Jeep.
Have our seatbelts.
Yep. So what are we driving here?
Hi, my name's Tiffany and you're riding in a 2013 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Sport.
And you have an accent from...
I live in Nashville, Tennessee.
Perfect.
And this color is called Gecko Green.
Awesome.
All right, is everyone buckled in?
You guys all tied down? So we've got Tyson in the back, co-chaperoning with us today.
Here we go. Our first obstacle is a 30-degree angle. Cool, huh? Do you want to shake back and forth and see what happens? Come on, shake as much as you want.
Let's get it to roll to the left.
It doesn't go anywhere, does it?
Maybe we gotta turn the radio on.
You can turn it on. Do you like country music? I live
Sure.
in Nashville, so let's play some country.
We'll add to the experience.
I don't know what to do. It's not radio station.
Actually, we can't do music because it's going on YouTube. I just forgot, sorry.
Alright, so we're going to go over ground clearance. We're going to go over a bunch of logs. Are you ready?
It's like a trip to Maine on the beach.
And we have a little under 10 inches of ground clearance in the Sport. And we have a new engine. It's the new Pentastar 3.6 liter V6.
Wow.
285 horsepower and 260 foot-pounds of torque. And we get up to 21 miles per gallon on the highway. How are y'all doing back there?
Doing good. We're having a good time. So what's the best thing about driving a Jeep like this?
Well, it's definitely off-road capable. It can get you over any obstacle, just about. This is a 30-degree angle up and down, and it's 14 feet tall. All right, hands in the air. Here we go.
Should've brought the GoPro for this.
Alright, so I'm going to show you a really cool feature. This one's a 5-speed automatic with a Tiptronic. So I'm going to put it over in first gear. If you want to push this button for me, that is called our hill descent. It's going to show up right here. And when we go down, I'm going to take my foot completely off the brake. And the anti-lock brakes are going to take over and brake for us. So my foot's off.
Sounds like a scary thing to do.
No, it's actually very beneficial because when you're going down a mountain, you're not going to get blinded. Your brakes aren't going to get burnt up.
Gotcha.
So
Perfect.
it definitely helps prevent that. And if you want to push it one more time, it turns it off. There you go.
Awesome.
So yeah, if you're going down Moab, for instance, you're not going to get your brakes burn up.
Perfect.
It just uses your brake steel, it just rotates it. All right, we're going to go back over some more logs.
Shaken, not stirred. Perfectly calm.
That's right. And all the doors are removable. These can fold forward like the old Army Jeeps.
You see the bumpers on the hood?
Yep. And then we have, it comes standard with this Sunrider soft top, but this 3-piece hard top is an option, so that whole back piece comes off, and then we took the 2 front panels off.
Awesome. Well,
This one
thank you
starts
very
in the low
much.
20s. Thank you. Have a good day.